Sup?
It's raining.
It is. It's sprinkling a little bit.
Ollie Williams with the news. With the weather. It's raining.
At least those guys smoking pot next to you earlier finally took off. They were.
I have thought it was you guys, and then he said something
No.
next to. He's like, "It's just tobacco," and I was like, "Oh, it's
sure.
you guys."
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they were here last night too, because I had smelled that distinct smell last night when we were coming out of Night of the Living Dead, and yeah, they were there the entire time. Laura and I were reviewing Hunter Killer. I went to go take her home, came back so we could see this movie, and they were still there. I was half expecting them to still be here or in the theater watching Johnny English with us. Man, I don't want to be here, man.
He's like, "I want to play Red Dead." God damn.
Yeah, I want to be. I want to be taking the next several days playing my game. I didn't even know this screening was happening until a day or two ago when I texted you about it. Was it yesterday?
Something like that. Yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It hasn't been very long.
No, yeah, because they hadn't, for like the past month, they hadn't been showing anything past like 8 o'clock on Thursday night. So I was like, okay, well, there'll only be one movie. I can go to Walmart somewhere after this, and after Hunter Killer, then I looked to see what else was coming this weekend to go see Saturday or Sunday or tomorrow, and it's like Johnny English 10 o'clock. I'm like, well, I am glad I can finally get a lot of these out of the way on Thursday night. I wish it wasn't this fucking weekend, and for two movies that I really, really don't want to see, honestly. But on the plus side, this was only like a 90-minute movie. At least it wasn't one of those comedies that we usually go see at 10 o'clock where it's like a half an hour too goddamn long and we're stuck until like 12:15 in the morning watching The Spy Who Dumped Me or Night School or Life of the Party. This movie's not very good, but it's only like 90 minutes. All right, fine. Had you seen the other two movies? Neither have I.
And like, I think I remember like once seeing like a trailer or seeing something for this movie, and that was it.
No, I remember the other two movies. I just never got around to seeing them.
Yeah, I mean, what this come down, this is an unnecessary sequel to a movie that's 7 years old. There was unnecessary sequel to a movie that was 8 years old. So
yeah, 2003 was the first one, you said.
Yeah. So this series has taken course over 15 years now.
Why?
And I mean,
Rowan Atkinson is incredibly talented. So there are, because he is such a gifted performer and a gifted comedian, there's a handful of belly laughs that are in the movie.
He has still got the physical comedy down.
No, totally, yeah.
Like he's and he seems kind of ageless. Like he has gotten older, but he looks like he's having a lot of fun doing this.
Oh yeah, and I'll give it that.
He's clearly, you make these movies 7 years apart. There has to be some reason to come back. And it doesn't and I could see it very easily just going through the motions on this. But he looks like he's just having a lot of fun with this movie.
He is the bright spot of this movie. Nothing else really is, because the script is going through the motions. Yeah. The direction is. In terms of ambition behind the camera, this isn't like Peter Sellers' Pink Panther. This is Steve Martin Pink Panther. Like, that's the level of that's kind of the level you're getting here. In the movie's opening minutes, it's already given us the plot, really. Like, before the opening credits, it's, oh my god, there's a cyber attack and they've outed all of our agents. We need to get somebody who's retired. Who do we get? Credits. Johnny English. All right, well, that was fast. They said this was a 90-minute movie. They were wrong. It's like 90 seconds long. And look, I mean, it's just a series of gags. It's just a series of set pieces and slapstick and physical comedy. Certainly. It's just a sequence of that strung together with the loosest of plots. The only plot in this is that Jake Lacey is basically like
Elon Musk.
Yeah,
Evil Elon Musk.
right, with like Mark Zuckerberg thrown in there, and
Yeah.
he's a huge tech guy who's trying to take over the world by causing cyber attacks on London.
Who apparently controls one junction box and completely shut down the internet.
It's like,
And I'm just, as soon as I said it, I'm like, no, that can't happen. That doesn't happen like that. I'm sorry.
Although
No.
I do like Jake Lacey, and I mean he does what he can with this role, but him in this role made me think he would have been much better casting to play Lex Luthor in Batman v Superman.
You could have seen that, yeah.
Right, like he's not. I mean, the second he's on screen in this movie, he's like villain. He's like, really?
Yeah.
All right. Like, what? Every like prime minister, whoever person in charge, positions of authority in this movie need to be fired for not knowing this guy is evil the goddamn second he shows up. Like, I know it's a goofy comedy, whatever, but it's a lazy movie, man.
And there is no way that any country would just hand over control of their data to a private entity without going through due diligence. She's just like, the prime minister's like, here's our data. It's like, no, you can't. Again, you just cannot do that.
I mean, this is just first draft stuff. It's just like what you're talking about right there. That's just there as an afterthought to Rowan Atkinson running around in a knight's costume, wielding a sword.
It's designed to loosely hold together.
Yeah.
Sight gag to sight gag.
Right. I mean, the Bond girl in it is a Bond girl. It's
Olga Kurlenko.
Yeah, from Quantum of Solace. I mean, like, I could see where like something clever could be done with some of the. Look, I haven't seen the other two movies, but like I could see where there's threads of something clever that could sort of be in there. How he's this old school 60s, 70s spy who doesn't like modern technology. Like, he doesn't drive the hybrid, he drives the Aston Martin. He doesn't use phones, he uses faxes. There's like a car chase with the old car versus the new car. Like, I could see where there's some ideas there. Like, there's potential there for him as this older Connery, Roger Moore type Bond, and like you could get something out of that by putting like that James Bond maybe in a world of like darker, grittier Daniel Craig James Bonds. Like, I could see where like you could get something out of it, and maybe the other movies do it better, are more clever at that than this movie is. I mean,
it probably isn't as big of a deal in the other movies. You think about the timeline of 2011.
2003 was when Pierce Brosnan was still James Bond.
Yeah. Well, and even 2003, 2011. You think about the differences in technology from now to then. I mean, the iPhone was maybe in its third iteration in 2011, third or fourth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Facebook was getting big, but it wasn't the gigantic Goliath that we now know it. It was, so it's like, I don't think the other one's probably focused on the technological differences as much as this one now.
Even if they did, but even beyond like the technological stuff, even taking like, looking at just this movie, even taking like just a 60s era spy really and putting them in modern times is something. Look, Austin Powers already did that pretty successfully, and it did it way better than this movie did. I can see how the other movies might have tried doing that same thing too, sort of like in like maybe an Austin Powers kind of way. I don't know, but just looking at this, and I realize that like if you see a bad comedy sequel without seeing the first one, you probably shouldn't write it off because comedy sequels are usually pretty bad. But so I'm just trying to picture in my head how maybe some of the other movies may have gone, having just seen this one.
I can say I can't imagine they were like so much better than this one that it was like a huge...
I seem to recall the other two also not getting very good reviews, to be perfectly honest. So maybe this is a series that already started out with the bad sequel. I don't know, but now, like, there are moments, far few in between, that have, like, a chuckle, like them pretending to be French waiters in one scene and fucking shit up, or
They're all in the 30s, by the way. Every one of them.
they're all in the 30s.
Yeah, the Rotten Tomatoes.
I got you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's so much for that theory, I guess.
Good Lord.
Maybe this one's getting better reviews than the other one. But at the end of the day, it's still a comedy sequel, so still bad reviews. No, how he kept forgetting his code name. Like, he would
Basil Golightly. It's like, really?
That's almost the Cinema Snob's name in the movie.
Yes, it is, isn't it? Yeah.
No, like,
shit.
but it... Yeah, so he would throw out, like, a line sometimes, or, like, a delivery where you could certainly see that spark in there. And I honestly liked how it was bookended with him teaching kids, like, old spy shit. I was sitting there like, I sort of want this to be the movie, honestly.
Right.
Not
training the next generation of little kid spies.
Yeah, like, hell, make it like a pair...
School of Rock.
Yeah, School of Rock
School of
crossed with Kingsman.
Like, yes.
I could sort of see that working a little bit, but no, it's just this lazy, tired spy spoof, really. Like, I don't know, man. I mean, it was better than the movie I saw earlier, and both of them had submarines in them. Was there anything that you really liked about this? Like, I mean, outside of the main performance, and maybe was there any gags that you liked, really? Like, I mean, a lot of them are...
It wasn't like any one particular running gag that worked really well. There's a lot of stuff, like little humorous moments, like you were saying with when they were the waiters. That one was pretty good.
It's most of it is just telegraphed so hard that you're just waiting for it to happen. Like when they hand him that when Charles Dance and Michael Gambon and Edward Fox hand him that pen, and like, don't keep it off for 20 seconds or it'll explode. And like, oh boy, I wonder where this is going.
Well, that was the other thing too. Like, you get those guys that are just to be there for like 20 seconds before you just knock them out of the picture.
Yeah.
That might have also been an interesting way to go, is he's competing against all these older, more intelligent, better versed spies, and how's he going to come out on top? You know, that could have been interesting too, but
they knocked them out after one scene. That was just a cameo.
Poor Charles Dance. Michael Gambon. He was fucking Dumbledore, for Christ's sake, and this is how you treat him? No. Oh, my goodness.
Well, I mean, it's not the worst Charles Dance movie I've seen this year, because there was that... Wait, was that this year? He was in the last Underworld movie I saw. Was that this year, or was that last year? I don't know. It feels like...
Last year, maybe? I don't think there's been one this year. I don't know. They come out so good.
It was either the last January or the January before. The Chattel, though, was
2016.
2016? 2 years ago? Damn.
I think.
Time flies when you're watching Underworld
Blood
movies.
Wars?
Oh, God, I can't remember the... damn, I see so many movies. That was 2 years
release
ago.
Date?
Release date. I still thought it was this year.
2017.
Oh, okay.
It was released,
right.
so it was early release 2016, but then we got it January 6, 2017.
Yeah, that is definitely a
so
January movie. Yeah, he was in that shit. I think he was.
It was released most places in 2016. We just didn't get it.
Well, they got it early. Us here in the States were like, oh no, that's a January movie.
Of course, that's the type of movie that does well over there, overseas.
Underworld, maybe that's
damn
why
Russians eat it up.
5 of those films.
The Russians like their latex.
I guess these do well enough for there to be 3 of them. I mean, they've all been big-ish releases here, and that it's at enough theaters to be here in Springfield.
And I mean, they're not terrible. And I can see, like, Rowan Atkinson's name carrying a lot. I mean, it still carries a lot of weight. So,
yeah.
I mean, Is this thing probably going to make as much money as the previous two? I don't know.
I don't know how much the previous two made. I mean, maybe on a worldwide
Clearly
scale,
enough to
it's
make
got-
a third.
For the yeah.
Just 7 years down the road. So 7 years from now, I guess
Yeah.
we're getting, you know, a 70-year-old Rowan Atkinson doing this. I don't know. Is he?
Dude, man, like I don't know. This, I mean, you and I have both seen worse comedies this year.
Oh yeah, by far. Like, this is not. Yeah.
Yeah, you know the thing about this movie is because yeah, you and I have seen worse movies like the ones we mentioned earlier, like Life of the Party and shit like that, and fucking Sherlock Gnomes, all of which we probably saw at 10 o'clock at night. And this one,
Sherlock Holmes.
oh, dude, yeah, man, like this one though. Again, at least it was only 90 minutes, and also, as annoying as the movie is and as lazy as it is, I can't say I was really sitting there mad. I was annoyed in the sense that I don't want to be in a movie theater watching a movie right now. I want to get to the fucking game store, and get a late breakfast. But I wasn't sitting there mad necessarily. Like, on all the gags, I'm like, okay, well, he's gonna take the wrong pill. All right, he's gonna fuck with that thing. Like, his suspenders are caught on the thing. He's gonna go flying out the window. It's gonna happen any second now. I wasn't sitting there mad necessarily. I got a chuckle out of the magnet boots when it was causing.
Yeah,
the
grabbing
silver, yeah,
all the
the silverware and shit.
yeah, the utensils and everything. Yeah, that wasn't too bad.
Um,
There's just nothing that stands out about this movie where you're just like, oh, okay, yeah.
there really
Like
isn't.
it's gonna be one of those movies that you watch it and then 2 days
Oh.
later you're gonna forget the majority of what happened in it.
The fuck, I saw that. All right.
You know, and it's really a testament to Rowan Atkinson that he can carry a movie and make it at least somewhat watchable and not a complete train wreck. But
yeah,
I mean, there's only so much that he can do when they just half-ass a script and go, here you go, work on it.
yeah, man. Like this movie, if I don't know, I guess if you're a fan of the other two, I don't know how this stacks up against those two, but critically, apparently, about the fucking same.
So here's the great thing: this movie series is so old that his co-star in the first movie was Natalie Imbruglia. If you don't remember her, she sang the song "Torn."
Yeah.
Yeah, which was huge
Mm-hmm. Huge for
back
being
in the
the,
early. Yeah.
huge for being the theme to Johnny English, obviously.
Yeah, I guess so. And I don't. That was that late '90s. So she was even like,
Yeah.
she hadn't done anything for a while when she was in that.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
she was pretty much a one-hit wonder on that one, and then that movie came out in 2003. So it was like even then it was.
This movie had Bananarama on the soundtrack. I do like Bananarama. Man.
Well, and then I saw 2011. His co-star was Rosamund Pike,
Oh really?
and I was like, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, in the first movie, had John Malkovich as the villain.
Oh right. Yeah, I
Yeah.
did know that. I mean, I remember
Yeah.
I never saw it, but I remember the reviews and I remember the trailers when it came out.
So yeah, and then I was sitting there looking at that, like, oh yeah, that was that, wasn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's
I guess if you're like a fan of the other two, just wait and rent this. This really shouldn't be out in theaters, to be perfectly honest.
No.
Like
It's. I mean, not stateside. I mean, I'm sure UK. It probably will make quite a bit of money because
maybe, yeah. I don't
Rowan
know.
Atkinson. I mean, I assume they still love him over there. I mean, I always thought he was a national treasure for them, but I don't know. I don't know if I hope he hasn't like diddled any little girls. Or anything. Like I don't think he has. I know his daughter's a stone cold fox now, which is weird. It's weird to look at him and look at his daughter and go, I don't see how this is half of this. I don't at all.
The real mystery.
Like she inherited all of her looks from her mother, but clearly not Rowan Atkinson.
Any final thoughts about this? I don't know. If you're a fan, rent it. If not, skip it. Like this.
Yeah, There's other stuff out there that you probably haven't seen to go see that instead, because this is just, It's lazy.
Yeah, as far as bad spy spoofs go, I guess it's not as bad as Zoolander 2, but it's still not very good. It's just lame. It's lame. It was it was over and done with, which is more than I can say about Hunter Killer that I saw earlier. But all right, well, I got a lot of fucking movies this week. Tomorrow, I believe Dave and I are gonna be at the Pure Flix movie, which is Indivisible, I think. Gino and I are seeing Saturday. We're seeing mid-90s, An Old Man with a Gun.
I am so glad that Dave is your bitch for those Pure Flix movies and not me, because what I saw what did I see? The one, what did I see? The Shack.
You saw The Shack,
and that wasn't even that. Like that was just kind of like
right?
Like that was at least
You haven't
somewhat
seen, like,
well put together.
You did get to see Saving Christmas.
That fuck that piece of shit.
And didn't we go
God.
see, what was it, like Kirk Cameron's Revive Us or whatever the hell it was?
Yes, that wasn't even. That was so weird.
Yeah,
that was
man.
where we got attacked for not standing up
Oh yeah.
for the national. And like we're in a theater
Hey, down in front.
during a movie.
Fucking and then they reenacted War Room in there, and you hadn't seen it, so you had no fucking idea what was going on in the scene. I had
like,
to
sitting
lean
there going-
over
I'm like,
and be
"What
like,
is this
"Oh,
shit?"
here's what you're missing. Let me explain the ending of War Room to you."
Yeah, that was weird. And just
There was a sequel to that. Yeah.
to what? It was them talking about crap.
They did another one, and it showed here,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
think it came out when, like, either I was out of town or maybe, ironically, maybe we were doing Jesus Bro. I can't remember, but for some reason I couldn't go see it. But
All I remember is that they had crazy ass Ben Carson talking.
Was he in that?
Yeah, he was
Oh,
talking. One of the
shit.
talking heads, and I was just like, "Yeah, this is no."
Thumbs down.
Jesus. And didn't we end? It wasn't that the one where we ended up talking to that couple. and
We
they
got
ended
caught
up-
in a conversation
Yeah.
because
Well, no, that was the nice couple though. It
no,
wasn't
they
the-
were nice, but
Yeah.
like we were because Kirk Cameron comes on screen and he says like we've booked this theater for 10 extra minutes so you could talk to audience members. We're like, dude, we got a fucking bowl.
Yeah.
And
Go,
like
go, go,
as
go,
soon
go.
as I said that, like, I mean, they were
Turn
nice,
around,
but
yeah, it's like shh,
we were there for like 15 minutes. Maybe that was why I didn't want to go see the second one.
probably not.
All right, everyone, take care. Thanks a bunch in the chat for watching.
See ya.
See ya.